right. Hello, and welcome. Y'all, today is a very special episode because we have Christine Conti, who just is hot off the presses from winning the IDEA 2023 Fitness Instructor of the Year award at the IDEA World Conference in LA just 2 weeks ago. So, we're going to talk to her today about how she has built relationships in her career that sustain and help her move forward, help her to leverage her message and help more people. And we're going to be talking all about relationships. I want you to be thinking about the relationships in your life, professional, personal, all of your relationships. And I want you to start thinking about how you can start to, I don't like to use the word leverage in relation to relationships because I like for relationships to be service based and love based and relationship based. But the truth is, all of us that have really gotten anywhere in the business get there because of relationships, because of the people that we know and how we work with the people that we know. I used to be this person that thought that I had to keep business professional and relationships completely separate. And so I wouldn't be friends with the people that I managed on Facebook, and I wouldn't really want to hear or know too much about their personal life. When I went into business for myself, I quickly learned that business is more satisfying and more successful when you allow your professional colleagues to also be your friends, to also be your associates, to also be your confidants, to also help you to be your advisors and your coaches. That is when it all starts to meld really well today. So yes, we're all looking for balance in our personal lives as well as in our professional lives. But part of that balance I find works a lot better when you let your associates and your colleagues in. So, we're going to be talking about relationships today with Christine Conti. I'm super excited to have her on. Before I do, let me intro the show, make sure everybody knows what we're doing here. I'm Kelly Coulter. I have been a fitness instructor since 1999. In 2020, I became absolutely obsessed with helping fitness instructors and personal trainers build profitable businesses that impact lives and that they love running. Now that's what I do full time. I coach fitness instructors, personal trainers, and health coaches on creating successful, profitable businesses. So today we're talking to Christine Conti, and she is a best-selling author as well as the 2023 IDEA Fitness Instructor of the Year. And let's just bring her on. Before I do, let me say one more thing. Everybody, give me a hashtag live or a hashtag replay. I see how many people we've got here live. I want you all to give me a hashtag live. Let me know that you're here. If you have questions for Christine, go ahead and start to put them in the chat. Let me know what your questions are so we can make sure that we get them covered. And let's talk with Christine about the road to IDEA's Fitness Instructor of the Year 2023. Hello, my friend.
Hello, Kelly. I'm
So
so
good to
excited.
have you here.
This is great. There's always a million things happening at any given time. And I know that when I'm back on your show, it means that like good things are happening, because we've got to dip into it and talk about it and all the things. So I'm really excited. Thank you, Kelly, for being a host and a great friend and all the things.
Love it. I love it. So when I asked you what you really like to talk about when you come on the show as this isn't your first appearance I don't want to say that because it's inaccurate. But it's one of your first appearances since you won the award.
We're still in the nascent stage. Yes. Absolutely.
And so I kind of was drilling you on what's your platform? What do you really want people to take away from you winning this award? And you said relationships. Tell me more.
Absolutely. So I've, I've been on the show before. I've talked about different, business adventure things that I have my hand. It's really ironic is that I feel like growing up, like when you think about relationships, like people have dated and things like that, they'd be like, oh, Christine's talking about relationships, really? Like, well, times they haven't changed, that's for sure. And what is really interesting is that I always reflect. I'm a thinker, I'm a reflector, and I just want to go back to a really quick story to kind of set the tone for this. Is
Yes.
that when I got into fitness, I've already been in, I was in investment banking and I was in teaching and coaching, and I loved fitness. It was my hobby. But when I started realizing, wow, I really love this, and started talking to fitness professionals that they were just great at what they did. And all I did was say, hey, I'm Christine. I really enjoyed your class. I really got a lot out of it. I really, whatever it was, that was it. That's how it started. There was no magic. There was no like special formula to follow. It was, I show up and I introduce myself. And what's crazy is that is something that people have so much fear over, and they don't
Yes.
do. This doesn't cost anything. If you see someone in life and they're amazing and you're like, wow, they're awesome, go introduce yourself. And you know what's so much easier these days is that you can do that over social media. If you see someone like an influencer or like someone that has an amazing message, I don't care if they're famous, quote unquote, drop them a message, like their comments, follow them, because you never know. And maybe you're not going to meet them, but maybe you're learning some valuable marketing from what someone similar, with your similar message is doing, and maybe doing more successfully, or maybe something you don't even know about. So I like to kind of set that tone just to start. And again, I got some more tips, but like that is just so basic, right?
So your number one tip from what I'm hearing you say is have the conversation. It's something we talk about all the time in my paid programs, because
Right.
a lot of coaches, like business coaches, I'm doing business coaches in quotes, right?
Yeah.
A lot of business coaches, that's for the podcast listeners. I'm doing it in quotes. But a lot of people are being taught that you have to, set up all these processes and do all this branding and like have an email list and like do all of these things that take a lot of time. And I'm like, why don't you just go talk to the people that you know you can help? Just introduce yourself, be direct, transparent, honest,
Right.
and see if they would like some support. And maybe it leads to a sale. And what you're saying is that it's also the first step in your career, not just in your career as a paid health
Right.
coach, but in your career as anything. Walking up, introducing yourself, maybe expressing a little gratitude for what that person has taught you or done with you, and then maybe having the conversation.
Yeah, that's where it starts. Even, I mean, this is even before we're talking
Mhm.
having your own business and your LLC and your all, everything that goes along with
Mhm.
being a fitness instructor or a business owner. And again, this is, kind of across the board, being that I have not always been in fitness, owning my own companies, which I do now, is, back in business, it was the same way. I was always told, hey, we always heard, that all the best deals are done on the golf course or at the bar. That
Yes.
couldn't be more true in life.
I
They
always say
couldn't
that
be.
about conferences. The conference happens at the bar.
It's true. I mean, and that's what leads me to the next thing of, how did I go forward? Number one is that I was just curious, and I would meet, introduce 20 something years ago. It doesn't matter if these people are right. So you email list, whatever. I would always kind of raise that, overcoming that fear of like, I think it's that leading with service word without asking for anything. And then with that, well, that was when I would, again, if I went to a conference, and I'll just work on that one right now. If I went to a conference and there were people there, speakers, keynotes, presenters, whatever, and I saw them sitting at a bar or sitting at a table, I would say, hi, I'm Christine. I was at your session. I just want to let you know again, you're amazing. And it led to, having a glass of wine with people. And I always said that it didn't matter who I was working for, who I was representing. When I did that, I was hashtag being Christine. That's how people got to know in fitness and wellness and medical fitness. It's not through other companies. It's because at the end of the day, I'm Christine Conti, here's who I am. And you have a family? Oh, really? Where do you live? What do you do? And we talked zero about fitness when it was outside of that realm. Zero.
So important. So important. Just getting to know people. People don't care what you have to offer until they know that you care about them.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Like I said, it's like, how did you get into doing all the things that I do now? It's literally just showing up and trying to be around the people that you think are fascinating. I mean, as a podcaster, who do I invite on my show? I go after people, they may have no idea who I am. And I go after people that I think are fascinating. And I'm like, and I literally will say this over social media, like, hey, I love what you're doing. You are fascinating. And I would love to feature you on my podcast. Period. The end. Sometimes I don't get responses, but most of the time I do. And I think we underestimate that whole idea of relationships and really what that does, because when someone knows that, hey, you know what, they're not just interested in shaking you down for free advice, right? Free this, free
That's
discount
so
on that.
important. Don't lead with an ask, lead with service. And I know you said that a minute ago. I wanted to circle back on that.
Right. And it's
okay. So Russell Brunson calls this, what you're talking about, the Hot 100. So
Russell, I can feature on my show, buddy.
There we go.
Like that's as easy as that is. Like, I'd love to feature you and I could be on a show. The other day I did a Facebook post, Callie, because I was like, and I was like, hey, Tony Robbins, I'm coming for you. Like, you throw stuff out in the universe and you never know who's listening.
Yeah.
You never, ever know. And
yes.
So
for those of you guys that don't know the Hot 100, what he says is that you sit down and you make a list of the people who are doing what you want to do, who are doing it in a bigger way. So for me, that would be like Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, I love as well. Who else would be on my Hot 100? Shailene Johnson, Christine Conti. You make this list and you follow them on social media, you interact with them, and then you send them a message and just say, hey, I have created this thing. I think it could serve your audience in this way. Let me know if I can offer it. Or, hey, I just think you're amazing. Or you just start reaching out and having the conversation. And let's say you did make a list of 100. Maybe you hear back from 20 of them. That is 20 people that you would not have had who are doing what you want to do, you would not have had relationship with otherwise. And that's kind of what you're talking about. That's where it starts. And I'm a big believer in that as well. So I love that you're bringing this up, but I'm just giving it that name, the Hot 100.
Yeah. And again, what you said with the Hot 100, you don't have to know these people. You don't, it's almost like, it's like that game of, I always said I want to, like I'd love to talk to Oprah, right? And it's hysterical because at the IDEA World, like Oprah, like I know some people that have either been on her show or something like that, but not really well. And then, at the awards came the woman who got the inspiration award. And I was like, there it is. Like like all of a sudden you're like, wow, Oprah's in my circle, because Oprah is now one person away from someone I know that I'm friends with that is a really good friend of hers, or, and you're like, okay, the world is not as scary and as frightening as you think when you think about pulling that boat closer to the dock. It's about relationships. Well, okay, who is really powerful? Who is doing things in the world that are great? Who is, but I just think of like, I want to help people, but I also need to make a living as well. And who do you see doing what you're doing?
Sure. And when you leverage the scale of audience or impact by working with people who have a larger impact than you do, then you get to impact more people. You get to get your specific special sauce out there in a way that changes more lives than you would be able to do if you just stuck with your own personal network and never grew that.
Yeah. One of the big criticisms of the fitness industry, or many industries, is that people have an idea and they keep it to themselves, and they're mine, and they're afraid that someone's going to steal it. I mean, someone, this week I was at a conference and they said, Christine, I'm going to tell you this idea I came up with, but don't say anything, because the last time I had
an NDA first.
Yeah. Like last time I had an idea and someone stole it and this and that. And I'm like, stuff like, did they really steal it? Or did maybe they have the idea and then move forward with it without, it's like,
it's never about the idea. It's always about the execution. The idea is just the start, the jumping off point.
And the relationship I remember, I left my teaching career and thought to myself, how do you reach more people? You reach more people. And yeah, I podcast. That was a big thing for me to be able to network and reach more people around the globe. But honestly, it wasn't just Christine Conti, because I can only get so far as one person. Or do I reach out to people I know? Do I say, hey, do you think maybe would you like to do some like sell my course and take a certain amount of money? It was fostering those relationships of, hey, how can I help you? And at the same time, it helps me. People understand this. There's as the same way as if Kelly comes on my show or if I come and talk with her, guess what? It helps me, because me now, maybe you do. I put it out there. I need business coaching. We do this for each other, and everybody wins. That's the thing sometimes we don't see, that there's a lot in relationships that we don't often take advantage of.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I have met a lot of my really good friends in the industry from sending them a message and saying, would you like to be on my show? That's just the truth. And so anybody that follows me and does the gold nugget strategy that I teach, which is basically just having one time a week that you give a really valuable piece of content to your audience, you know that I fill a lot of those gold nuggets with guest spots, and it's kind of multi-purpose. It helps me make content. It helps me serve my audience, so my audience learns something, and I get a valuable new relationship that I love.
Oh yeah. And sitting down and just having that conversation with someone and fostering that relationship. Here's another good one. Ready? This is a good one. When I speak a lot, I will tell people, here's the deal with relationships, that sometimes we think we have to have this resume, right? That, I'm the boss for an interview. And she sits down, she gives me her resume, and I'm looking through it. It says, here's her school, here's what she's done, here's her grades, great, here's her past experience. Does that really tell me who Kelly is? No. That's just what she's done on paper. It doesn't tell me what type of person she is. But if Kelly were to sit down, and even before I looked at her resume, which may be sterling, it's amazing, I say, hi, Kelly, nice to meet you. My name is Christine. How's your day been? And if Kelly says, thank you so much for seeing me today. It's been a little crazy because I just was running to my mother's house and delivering some soup for her because she's been sick lately, and she really loves clam chowder. So I dropped off some clam chowder for mom, checked in on her and came back. Okay, that tells me more about Kelly than that resume does. And that is what relationships are about. That just told me that Kelly is responsible. She's caring. She values family. She is someone who will go out of their way, above and beyond, to help someone. That is something I look at for a worker, for an employee. That is something that I look at. If Kelly were to be selling me something, I am now invested in what Kelly just had to say as a person, because that's her brand. Her brand is her person. And maybe I value family. Maybe I know what she is going through because I've done it before, or whatever that may be. I just love that kind of.
Uh-oh, we got a little freezing action happening here.
Oh, I think
there we go.
There's crazy thunderstorms over here at the Jersey Shore. I think that's what's going on.
That's what's going on. So Christine, let's switch gears. I want to hear about your journey to 2023 Fitness Instructor of the Year. You were nominated last year. You were nominated and won this year. Tell me a little bit about the process. What do you want people to know about that?
I'm actually really happy to say that the Fitness Instructor of the Year, I mean, at least for the last, years, it's not about the fitness classes per se, like the how well do you step touch? What format are you teaching? How many people are in your dance class each week? Not what it's about. How are you impacting the world is what it's about. And a lot of people have come up to me and said, how do I get to be, Fitness Instructor of the Year? How do you, and I say to them, I said, well, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for your family, your friends, fostering the relationships around you? What are you doing for your community? What are you doing for, the bigger picture? And what are your plans for the future to change the world? And I said, if you can answer all those questions and you actually have an action plan and you have been working on that maybe your whole life, but you may not have realized it, then yeah, you should apply. Because
so good.
Back when I first started, and I thought that, the instructor was just like a fitness instructor and not an instructor, an educator, a leader, someone that I got some great advice after I won. And, it's like kind of almost like getting the green jacket. You're now a part of this, this group, right? So I can't give you all the secrets, but I can give you one really important one that I was told by a former winner, and not a recent former winner.
You're not going to tell us who it was?
I can't tell you who it was because it's secret. It was a man, though.
Okay.
I was told that as, the fitness instructor of the year, as a part of, an IDEA World winner, you have, like Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. It's with great influence, you have great responsibility. And that you now are looked to set the standards for the industry, so that what you're directing your attention and your energy towards, and the prices that you're setting, the things that you're doing, like, are you doing things for free? Really sets a tone for the rest of the fitness industry around the world. And that you have to be very careful so that people are not undervalued, because it is up to you to set that standard.
Was the underlying message there to not be doing things for free and to allow people to
Some of
commit?
it was.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of
Oh, it took
agree
up a lot
with
of time.
me
Oh,
on
yeah.
that one, Kelly.
Little bit, just a tiny bit. Free
Just a
is the
little
F
bit.
word in the fitness industry.
I would appreciate a piece of advice passed down to me, but really it's not just about fitness. It's about changing the world in a direction of, inclusion and, improving our health in general. Like, instead of that, what's happening is that, our longevity, that whole word, that lifespan's going up and the health span is going down. What is it that you're doing on a larger scale to help with our health span? And that's really what this was about. And I want you, to kind of think about that in general of, are you making big waves?
So good. That is so good. So one of the ways that I know that you are changing the world is through reinventing the woman. I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Oh my gosh. One of my passion projects, right? Business partner, Lisa Charles, former prosecutor, actress, she speaks around the world, always been in health and fitness as well. But we teamed up, we had met because we had the same publisher for our books. And we decided to take kind of a hit list. We have a passion for health and wellness and longevity and chronic illnesses, and just taking women, particularly, who really have dreams and are stuck. And unlike just fitness or just a certain niche, this is people who do everything. So groups of people that are entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, fitness professionals, corporate America, you name it, and bringing them together and saying, we are going to bring in speakers from all over the world and give you information and advice to help you in the whole picture: mind, body, career, marketing, business. Kelly was on there talking about some amazing, business marketing strategies, which it doesn't matter if you're in fitness or not, you need these things. I mean, we had someone talking last week about brain science and brain health, and these are things that are universal. So we are out on a journey to really help people, support them, to achieve their goals in a way that's courageous and through commitment, and also building community. And you know what? If you're ready, we're excited to have you. And we go on retreats a couple times a year, which is our other thing, is that we rent entire boutique resorts, and we take groups of women. For the next one's in Tulum in November. We have a couple spots, but we're going to go sit in the healing cenotes, which are underground like waters, and walk the ancient healing grounds, and just take some time to disconnect and to reconnect with what's really important, which is yourself.
Oh my goodness, I'm in. Okay, we're going to talk more about that. Tell me the link where they can find more about Reinventing the Woman.
So you can go right to the website, rtwtribe.com is the main website. So that's Reinventing the Woman. We do lots of Zooms and info and everything. So you get involved as little as
in the comments right now, you guys.
So rtw.com, but I would just reach out right to me.
rtwtribe.com.
Yeah, rtwtribe.com. And again, if you just reach out to me, send me an email. Totally easy.
What's your email?
You know what? Do the info, INFO, at Conti, CONTI fit.com. So easy. Info at ContiFit.com. Just be like, Christine, send me the info. Kelly, I can even send you the flyer. You could post it, whatever. But
Yeah,
just,
that'd be great.
Info about about the group, about what we do, and about the retreats. And like I said, when we had Kelly on, the most important thing too about relationships is Kelly does a lot, right? With everything you do, with your groups and your masterminds. But yet I said to Kelly, I want you to come on to our group because the people that are with us, the women that are with us, could really use and learn from you. So it's not about like, oh my gosh, I'm already in this, Fit Pros Connect group. I can't be in your group. No. You should be in multiple groups. You should be in multiple like networking groups or relationship building groups, because that's how you get the word out. And those people that listen to Kelly are like, oh, I remember that girl, Kelly, she did blah, blah, blah. They will spread the word. And the same thing, you're going to meet new people. So I don't know about you, Kelly. I'm in like probably like 6 or 7 different organizations and groups at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm the moderator of 3 really large Facebook groups at this point.
Or memberships or whatever it is, like it's connect. The more people you connect with, like I look at that as marketing expenses. It's your marketing. Like,
So funny. It's almost like one of the points of this talk has been that marketing is relationships and relationships is marketing.
It is.
Marketing is almost dead in a lot of ways. Like the kind of marketing that you saw on Mad Men is definitely dead especially for businesses of our size. But marketing is relationship building at the end of the day.
All right. Last story, super, super quick. So I taught a course at a conference. It was like 9:30 at night. I'm heading back to my hotel room, and I go to the bar across the street. I order my salads and whatever to go, and I sit down and I have a glass of wine by myself. I watch sports. I don't talk to anyone. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. So, and then I'm going to go to my hotel room and eat said food, watching terrible television and sleep like a starfish. Well, I always meet the most interesting people when I travel and sit down, and there's a group of guys, they're drinking beers or watching games, whatever, fine. And I'm not even doing anything. So eventually this one guy in the end starts a conversation. And I had mentioned, I'm here for a conference, and I was just talking, and then it's like chronic disease. That's me. That's what I do a lot. And I'd mentioned, I just found out some interesting news, which I don't even know if you saw this, Kelly, was that I can't tell you all the news, but I do some work with leading athletes with, either Down syndrome or Special Olympics or neurodivergent, whatever. So needless to say, I'm going to be doing something pretty big with them in the next couple months, like really big,
like a core memory kind of big for you.
Like super big, like really super big, which is going to be covered all over the news and media in the world, whatever. So it's just something that makes my heart happy. And I mentioned, because I can't say it now, but I will at some point. I mentioned this, I'm like so excited, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, wow, like I, own this company, blah, blah, blah. We do a lot of like donations and stuff. Like, you should give me your card. And I'm like, whatever. I gave him my card. The next day, just from striking up this conversation, he sent me an email and was like, I'm really impressed with this organization that you do stuff for. I'd really like to help out this fund. And I'm like, wow, that's really generous. I said, he's like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you $5,000 now. And then I'm going to run this big tournament or whatever. And I'll get at least another 5 to 10. I'm like, because of a conversation that, who knows, it's just having that, hey, here's who I am. I had nothing to gain, nothing to lose, nothing to whatever. I was super tired. Like
You were chilling, having a glass of
I,
wine.
it was
Just happened
nothing,
over
but
wine.
and that's what, it makes my heart just so happy that, oh my gosh, like that was a 10 grand conversation. That's what I think of. That was a 10 grand conversation I just had for this charity. You never know.
And a valuable relationship going forward.
Right. So I just think those little things sometimes we take for granted. And when, you spend all this time with like marketing, I should hire like a whatever, like I'm going to put money in Facebook ads or whatnot. I'm like, no, like like there's so many other ways to do it. So anyway, that was
I'm
my
writing in
diatribe.
my notes, relationships are the new organic marketing.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so Christine, thank you so much for being here. I'm putting the rtwtribe.com link into the notes. I would like for everyone to check it out. I've been a part of it. It is a beautiful thing. Great community of women led by Christine and Lisa, right?
Lisa.
Yeah, and you guys meet every Tuesday night and have speakers and just connect with each other. And there's a Facebook group.
Tuesday, Thursday, we have like there's, even if you can't make it, there's recordings, and we just, we give you some like, private coaching stuff just if you need it. And we connect you with people like Kelly and the experts that, that do what they need to do that you need. So we just connect you with everyone.
Love it. All right. I'm going to take you off the screen and then I'm going to outro the show and I will see you soon, my friend. Thank you
Bye,
for doing
everybody.
this.
Bye, Cal. Thank you.
All right, y'all. So that was Christine Conti, hot off of her win of Fitness Instructor of the Year for IDEA 2023. I wanted to bring her on to tell you about the road to becoming Fitness Instructor of the Year. And I hope you got so much out of that. The thought that I am going to take away from today is that relationships are the new organic marketing. With that, let me tell you, I have nothing to sell you right now. So a lot of times as I'm ending the show, I'll give you a call to action. Go register for this marketing event or come check out my accelerator program or whatever. I am not actively selling anything. And so I'm not doing a lot of free trainings. You're seeing a lot of guests come on my show. With that, tomorrow, Brent, that you have seen come into the Grow Your Business for Fitness instructors, trainers, and coaches groups a few times. He is a master sales trainer. I love the vibe of Closers for Fitness, which is his company. And they are doing a free training tomorrow. I'm going to put the link to that Facebook event in the comments right now. I've typed it up for you and I'm putting it in here. I want you to go there and get registered for this free training. It's on handling objections using tone shifts. So I'm getting that link into the comments for you. Go over to that Facebook event, click going, add it to your calendar, and get over to that event. It happens at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with Brent from Closers for Fitness, who Closers for Fitness is a partner of ours and a collaborator and a great relationship and someone that we love. We love their vibe and how they do business. So there's that event. Want you to go get registered. Make sure that if you are watching on YouTube, that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please make sure you give us a like and make sure that you are in the Grow Your Business for Fitness instructors, trainers, and coaches group. That is my primary group where I serve and interact with my audience the most. If you're watching on the podcast, I'd love for you to give me a rating and a review and make that review 5 stars because your reviews help more people like all of us find and benefit from the information that I give you here. All right. Next week, I will see you again. I believe we're going to have Will Brereton from Shift Fitness come on. So I'm super excited to talk to him about Shift Fitness and the emerging new products and services coming out of that company. And so I will see you there.